Formula Song to the tune of Fireworks. Let's break it into figure where x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2. Let's ready. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a.
Let's do some exercises. Challenge number 1. Determine the values of a, b, and c for the quadratic equation 4x squared minus 8x equals 3. So in this case, I write the equation again and then I leave some space. Because remember the standard form equation? To the tune of Let's Get Loud, it's ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0 standard form. So let's transform it to the standard form. So as you can see, I aligned the equal sign. Alright, so and then we will transform this 3 to the other side. To the other side. Let's have it. 4x squared minus 8x. And then this 3 will be transformed and we'll pass the equal sign to the bridge of equal sign. And remember that our technique rule here is that when it passes the equal sign, it will be transformed from positive to negative, negative to positive. Just like bridge. When you pass that bridge of struggles, you will never be the same again. But it's gonna be heartbreaking or a character building. But as for me, and I also hope as for you, choose character building. Yes for character building, and no, a big no for heartbreaking. And so, going back to the equation, we have this 3, positive 3, it will pass the equal sign and it will become negative. And then equate the equation to 0. So we are already in the standard form of quadratic equation where ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So we have a which is 4, b which is negative 8, and c which is negative 3. So let's write it down. A equals 4, b equals negative 8, and c equals negative 3. So done getting the values of A, B, and C. Yay! Challenge number 2. Use the quadratic formula to find the solutions for y equals negative x squared minus 5x plus 12. It's already in the standard form. So it's also same with ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. That's also same with y equals ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So we have a, b, and c. So in this case, a equals -1 because there's an invisible one there beside x. Just like moon, when you look at the sky at night, you don't see the moon always, but it's just there. And then we have b equals, as you can see, the number beside x, it's -5. And we have c equals +12. This time, we'll go through with our quadratic formula. So let's recall our quadratic formula song to the tune of Fireworks. X equals -b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. One more thing to remember is that this bar sign should be in the middle of this plus sign. So as you can see, this bar sign is in between the equal sign, and the equal signs are aligned. Alright, so this time let us substitute the values of a, b, and c to the quadratic formula. So we have -b, which is -5, then plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, so b is equal to -5, so we have -5 and then squared minus 4ac, and then we have 4 times a is equal to -1, so we write it down, -1, and then c is equal to 12, so times 12, okay, and those in parentheses. Alright, so as you can see, equal sign are aligned, and then the bar sign here is in between the equal sign. So that's how you should do it properly. Okay, so we have 2a, and then a equals -1. So we write it down, -1. Okay, it's time to evaluate this time to get the value of the two roots. Okay, so we have negative of -5, so that will be negative times -5, which is +5, plus or minus square root of a. The one inside is called the discriminant. The figures inside the square root is called the discriminant. So let's get the value of the discriminant this time. Let's have it. So we actually need to go back to the concept of integers here. So as we can see, there are signed numbers, so that's the integers. So let's make use for this time, let's make use of our scientific calculator. Okay, so there we have it. As we have our scientific calculator, let's just encode the values in it. So as we can see, the figures in there, -5 squared minus 4 times -1 times +12. That one. Okay, so that's the discriminants. We're getting the values, so let's check it out using our scientific calculator. So we have it. Okay, let's have it here. Okay, that's the square root. It's the square root sign. Okay, so the negative sign in there is enclosed in a parenthesis. So there, as you can see, there it is. That's one. Okay. So when you open it with an open parenthesis, you have to enclose it. So we have closed parenthesis and then square. So the squared exponent there in our scientific calculator is there. So that x there with the 2 small number in the upper right corner there, and then we have -4 times a and c, and then so we have the value of a, we type it on our calculator, so we have -1 times value of c, which is equal to 12, so we type it 12, and then press equal sign. Okay, got the value of square root of 73. So our discriminant there is 73. So we have, write it down, square root of 73 over, so as we can see, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. So as we can see from the choices, there we have it. So we have x equals 5 plus or minus square root of 73 over negative 2. Yeah! Next challenge, challenge number 3. Use the quadratic formula to solve 2x squared plus 2x minus 12. So we have 2x squared plus 2x minus 12. So it's already in the standard form as we can see. So equate it to 0, so equals 0. Since it's already in the standard form equation, so we skip to step 1, which is transforming it to standard form equation. So we have to go to step 2, which is identify the values of a, b, and c. So as we can see it here, a is equal to 2. So we write it down. A equals 2, b equals 2, and c equals negative 12. So we already have the values of a, b, and c. And the next thing to do is write the quadratic formula. So we have that song. So remember, x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. So in between the equal sign over 2a. Okay, so that's to the tune of Fireworks. Okay, so we align the equal sign in the negative b, which is 2, plus or minus square root of b squared. So we have 2 squared minus 4 times a, which is 2. So we write it down, 2, and then times c, which is equal to negative 12. So we write it down, negative 12. Over, okay, let's align the equal sign and our equal sign. So there we have it. In between the equal sign, there we have the fraction or the bar sign. Okay, so we have 2 times a is equal to 2, so 2 times 2. So there we have it. As we can see from the choices, we have the exact value of the 2 square roots. So we get the value of the first root. So we go first with the plus. As we can see with the quadratic formula, there is plus or minus. So we go first with the plus. So using again our scientific calculator, we go with this. Let's just type it in code. Let's get started with the fraction. So we press that one, the fraction there. So that's the first thing to press, the fraction sign there. So we go first with the numerator. So we have negative b, which is negative 2. So we do plus first. So plus, and we have the plus sign, and then square root of b squared minus 4ac. So we have the value of b, which is 2, and then squared. There we go, minus 4ac. So that will be minus 4 times a times e. So minus 4 times a, we can use the symbol of parentheses. So we have 4a, which is 2, and then c is equal to negative 12. So we're done with the upper part, so we go to the lower part. So we press down that one. And then 2 times a, and a is equal to 2. So 2 times 2 is equal to 2 times 2. Alright, so we press equal sign again to get the first value of our first root. So we have, we have 2. So there you have it. We write it down for the plus. So for the first value of the roots, we get the plus sign there. So we use plus. And then the second root would be the minus part. Okay, so with that, we have the plus and the first root, first value of the root. So we got 2. Okay, so as you can see there, the plus or minus there gives two values of roots. So for the plus part, for the first root, and the second root is for the minus part. Okay, so there we have it. So for the plus, you got the value of positive 2. So we write it down. And then box your final answer. So we got the first root. Yay! Alright, so this time let's get the value for the minus part. Okay, so let's make use again of our scientific calculator. So we have already in there. So what you're gonna do is that don't delete everything. Rather, we just change the plus sign there with the minus sign. So we have to press the arrow up of our scientific calculator. So we move our cursor there. So instead of plus, this time delete the plus sign and make it minus. So we delete with the DEL there. So with the DEL there, that's delete. So we press it and then we change the plus sign to minus sign. So let me press minus. Okay, so there we have it. Let's press again the equal sign to get the value of it. Okay, equal sign, let's press it, and then we get the value of negative 3. So as you can see it there, our second value, our second root is negative 3. Alright, box your final answer again. So we have positive 2 and negative 3. In the choices, we have it there. Here you can see it. Yay! Next, what is that formula? So x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. As per our song, that is our quadratic formula. Quadratic formula. There we have it. Here's the way to write it anyway. Alright, that's quadratic formula. Last challenge. Let's have it. So solve using the quadratic formula x squared plus 4x minus 14 equals negative 8. So we write it down, x squared plus 4x minus 14 equals negative 8. So I leave the space again, I leave some space because later I will transform negative 8 and pass it to the equal sign. It will transform, change the sign. So align the equal sign again, there we have it. Okay, so simply we transform it to the standard form. This is step 1. We need to transform it to the standard form equation. So we have x squared plus 4x minus 40 and then negative 8, transfer it, it will pass the equal sign, so it will be changed sign. So negative 8 turns to positive 8. Okay, and then equate it to 0. Oops. Let's erase equal sign and let's make some adjustments. Alright, so there we have it. Alright, so we need to evaluate the c. Okay, so x squared plus 4x and then minus negative 40 plus 8. This time it's different sign. So adding integers, different sign, subtract and get the sign of the higher value. Just subtract it. That's the rule for addition of integers with different signs. So step 1 is subtract. 40 minus 8 is equal to 32. And then get the sign of the higher value, which is 40. The next sign of 40 is negative. So we have negative 32 and then equate it to 0. So there we have it. We have x squared plus 4x minus 32 equals 0. So we have an invisible 1 there beside x. So that will be the value of our a. And we have b, which is 4, and c equals negative 32. So there we have it. It's already in our standard form equation. So this time, let's get the value of a, b, c. Let's write it down so that we can substitute it later to our quadratic formula. So there we have it. A equals 1, b equals 4, and c equals negative 32. So we write it down, our quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. Alright, so remember, fraction sign, the bar sign there should be in between equal sign. So align the equal sign and then substitute the values. So we have negative 4 plus or minus. Okay, let's have b squared, b which is equal to 4 squared minus 4a which is 1 there, and then c which is equivalent to negative 32. So just substitute. Okay, I write plus sign first there in the above equation. So we have it. Equal sign should be in the middle. Should be aligned, I should say, and then bar sign is in the middle in between the equal sign. So we have 2 times a is equal to 1, so 2 times 1. So there we have it. Oops. So plus or minus. Quadratic formula. Okay, so we get the values of the first root. Okay, we take the plus, and then for the second value of the root, which is the minus. Okay, so this time, yeah, we will box our final answer, and then let's try it and evaluate what would be the value for that box, for that root. Okay, so this time let's go first with the plus. Okay, let's make use again of our scientific calculator. Okay, so let's encode the value. First, press the fraction symbol there. So we have it there, and then negative b. So press the negative, and then the value of b, which is equal to 4. So plus, let's just press plus first, and then square root there. As you can see, square root of b squared minus 4ac. So we have 4 squared there, and then minus 4ac, minus 4 times a times c. So we have, can go with 4, and then multiply it. Square it. There you go. Square it there. Okay. Alright. And then we squared minus. So we get the minus sign there. Now it's already minus 4ac. So that will be 4 times a. So what's the value of our a again? We have 1. only the upper side. Let's go now to the lower. Okay, so there we have it, 2 times the value of A, which is 1. Okay, so we press enter again. Okay, so we have 4, positive 4, so that would be our value, the value of our first root. Okay, so we write it down. We have it here, which is 4. Okay, so let's have it. Okay, this time let's have it for the next value of our roots for second root. So we don't delete anything. We don't delete except for that one, the plus sign. We'll just change it to the minus sign. Okay, so let's have it. Press the upper or the left arrow there. Okay, so you can see the cursor is moving until the plus sign, till we reach that. Okay, so we stop at that. We change plus sign to minus sign. So we press delete again to erase it. So delete, and then oops, subtraction, delete again. Alright, so there we have it. So instead of plus, this time to get the second value of our root, we press minus. Okay, so there we have it. Then we have the value of, press enter, the equal sign. Okay, let's have it. Excited much. Alright, so we have negative 8. So there we have it. We have 4, positive 4, and negative 8. So with that, we write it down 4. X sub 1 equals 4 and x sub 2 equals negative 8. So we have it from the choices. There we have it, the orange one. So congratulations, we did it!